If you feel that what you have is golden, then push yourself.
This is an interesting question. Does it count as a pivot if we're still pre-product?
And I thought, how can I solve this problem with technology?
The main challenge that we have is resistance to change.
What is common between all the people in the world is everybody wants to do right.
And I think with this generation in particular, I call them the not enough generation because that's what they constantly, that is the constant theme every time I talk to somebody.
You know, I do a lot of, you know, speaking engagements and stuff like that, or podcasts, and people introduce me with this resume, and I say, "Ooh, I did all of that." I'm like so impressed with myself, but I'm not doing enough. So maybe I'm a Gen Z. I didn't know it, Sarah.
No, it's true because we don't. I mean, especially now we're in a social media world where we're constantly looking at other people and we're like, wow, that person is so much more interesting, and that person is doing this, and that person makes more money, and whatever. It's always, how do I become better? How do I become? It's it's a chase, constant chase. So I think that the power of seeing your story really gives people a lot of confidence. It really makes people feel like, oh wait, no, the fact that I'm not doing all of these extracurriculars or interning in a hospital or doing this, whatever, what I'm doing is, it's impressive. There's a lot to be said about it. So so I think that there's also that aspect of it as well.
No, I like
And
the other aspect of it. My point is that I feel a
yeah,
little bit of a mixing oil and water here. Is I want you to be authentic and yourself. And this is a great thing. I wouldn't call it LinkedIn because that's too corporate, you know, but I would call it something different. I don't know what.
well,
It's
down the road we're all going to be calling it bridge. So
yeah.
yeah.
So it's the bridge that a place for authenticity or whatever you want to
Yes.
call
Yeah.
it. And if I'm there for authenticity, then I am more open to share my authenticity,
Yeah.
the dimensions that even So here's the thing: I'm just making this up. I have three relationships, and I'm 16 years old.
Yeah.
And this is not a good thing for me to tell but I learned something out of that. I learned how to love. I learned how to commit. I learned how to not to commit. I learned something. This is part of me and my authenticity. But if you tell me don't talk about all that sort of stuff because somebody over here is going to measure you with that, then you are limiting my authenticity to
Yeah.
be explored.
Who would say don't talk about that?
No,
Anything
no,
that
no,
you
but
can tie in is what's important.
but if the metrics that evaluates me from a university
Right.
perspective
Yes.
evaluates me with some social metrics that I don't care about,
Right.
right? Then you are limiting my expression of my authenticity. So my point is this: when you introduce this idea of being measured by some external things, and on this side you're saying brand me who I am, the authentic me, and the two, because this side hasn't changed. This side is making decisions. So you're either forcing me to compromise who I am, or right, or
Yeah.
making me to say things that doesn't fit. So my branding is compromised. Or if I say all of this, then my getting into the college is compromised because they're not looking for who I am. So my advice, if you would, my observation is you need to pick a fight.
Mhm.
You need to pick a fight. If you are Gen Z for Gen Z, if you are the one where they let them be who they are,
Yeah.
let them shine the way they are. And if the universities don't appreciate who they are, they're going to see that some of these people made great innovations and great strides and did great things, and they will then change,
Yes, definitely.
right? Because you can't fit into that mold and change that mold.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. Also, because if you're trying to say, I want you to get into this, then who's going to pay for this? I'm not going to. If you're a coach to get me or guarantee me a thing, okay, I'll pay you for that process. And you're making me fit into this. Or if you really want me to be authentic and present myself, then I'm going to pay you for this. But what am I paying you for? Why are you relevant to me? What is the exchange? What is that moment of truth? Is the moment of truth, is the moment of exchange when you say, Sid, you a Gen Z, you come here and explore your authenticity and shine like you never can.
Yeah.
Okay? Or Sid, come here and I will get you into a college. I'll fit you into this mold. There is a lot of people who are trying to fit them into the mold. There's
Absolutely.
all right. Now you could argue, oh, this is a cheaper way of doing it because then they have coaches and then you have to play the game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one thing that I see as I like the idea of, by the way, branding, and I like the idea of expressing our authenticity, because there is not enough of that out there. There's
Yeah.
so much frameworks that people are imposing upon us. Now look at all of this stuff on social media, on Facebook and TikTok, and do one, two, three, and you're going to be a trillionaire. Do one. Everybody thinks that we are a bookcase, like we can be bought at IKEA with a set of instructions that do this and this and this. We're not bookcases. I've been saying this recently, Sarah. We're not a process to be improved.
Mhm.
We are an art. We're not a process to be improved. Why do we have so many things? Everybody is trying to improve us.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell? So
Yeah.
I like your idea of that authenticity. I really do. But I think in order for it to remain relevant, you have to pick your battle.
Yeah.
You have to pick your battle. Either you're one of these or you're one of these. Thanks for watching. You can catch the full hot seat sessions through the links in the description or the pinned comment below. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you inside the Academy.